So today was a pretty crazy day for ARK players because we found out some massive information on the future of this franchise for the next 2 years, and to be honest, it looks really cool, and a lot of the stuff is to do with performance as well. Of course, Studio Wildcard make their promises, and all we can really do is hope that maybe this time this Unreal Engine 5.7 upgrade is going to be the magic bullet, as Studio Wildcard have used in their own words. But it's also got people asking the big question as well: what is happening with the legacy maps, the remaining maps for ARK Survival Ascended? Because these are the final maps to complete the full game from what we had on ARK Survival Evolved. Once Studio Wildcard do that, that means we've got a full product from what we've been, what we had in the past, and then everything else that they release, is down to ASA, because that is the future of the game. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the legacy maps, what Studio Wildcard have told us, and when I expect to see these maps actually launch. Now, if you do enjoy today's video, drop a like and subscribe, as it seriously supports us, and let's get in with the video. So, Fjordur Ascended, one of the most popular maps ever back on ARK Survival Evolved. I know a lot of you guys have got some questions about this because it was set to release December 2026 this year. Now, this video is very important because it explains the difference between what Studio Wildcard have shown, when we're going to most likely be seeing the legacy maps, and how the legacy maps are going to be created. So let's get into what Studio Wildcard announced. The ASA product roadmap. But big word there, product roadmap. It's been said as well from Studio Wildcard themselves that this roadmap doesn't include any of the legacy maps, anything else that's free for the game. This is everything from 2026 through to 2027 that you guys will need to, well, if you want to, spend money on. These are ARK's, for the franchise, the products, not the free content for the game. This doesn't mean that everything else has been scrapped. This is just everything that they are going to charge money for. Now, big question from a lot of people is on Survival of the Fittest, because it has been confirmed that Survival of the Fittest is a free mod. So most likely, from what we've been told in the crunch, this is going to be free again, but that doesn't mean that it won't be a product, because Survival of the Fittest, if popular, may end up being its own standalone version, which you never know what happens with battle royales and stuff. There may be cosmetics that people may want to purchase. There might end up being a Survival of the Fittest battle pass, that kind of thing. That's where it becomes a product. It may be free to download on launch, but that's probably something maybe they're planning to look at to make it long-term successful if they get the player count. Then Bob's True Tales is coming Q2 2026, and by the way, this has been told this is late Q2 2026, so that is most likely going to be June. So between Lost Colony launching, December 2025, and 6 months between these two, there's most likely going to be a potential free DLC in that 6 months. So one of the biggest things we're talking about is how these legacy DLCs are going to be developed. I doubt they're going to be in-house. It could be most likely by a third-party team. So if you want to see where the confirmation was that we're still getting the upgraded legacy maps, it was put in the community crunch by Studio Wildcard themselves. They said also in 2026 and 2027, survivors can expect many new creatures, TLC updates, which we know there's 5 coming, the holiday events, the quality of life improvements, upgraded legacy maps from the old game, and other surprises for the game they know and love. So what other maps does that make us ask for to finish off this game? Crystal Isles. Crystal Isles has never once been talked about coming to the game ever since ARK Survival Ascended launched. Fjordur at least had a past release date. Studio Wildcard did confirm that it is, of course, 100% still coming for the game, but they couldn't confirm what the release date would be for this map. Also, Lost Island. These 3 final free maps are still set to release for the game. Lost Island had the same thing as Crystal Isles. Dolly confirmed that it's still coming to ARK Survival Ascended, but it will be free, of course, and it will be told at some sort of later date. It has been now confirmed, as I said in this post, that these 3 maps will be releasing between the span of 2026 and 2027. So let me talk my theory on what I think is going to happen. So let's come back to the product roadmap again. So there is a massive space between Lost Colony, as I mentioned, and Bob's True Tales, which is pretty much a 6-month gap. Survivor of the Fittest is made in-house by Studio Siren, so that's nothing to do with Studio Wildcard. They're working on totally different stuff. ARK World Creator, which most likely you will have to pay for because it's on the product roadmap, is coming early Q3, but it's not a DLC, it's something separate. So then that gives a gap between Q2 2026 and Q4 2026 that it's been confirmed that ARK Dragontopia, the How to Train Your Dragon DLC, I know they keep saying inspired, I'm still holding off that it's going to be official, is coming December. So that is now the official release date for Dragontopia, December 2026. So with Fjordur, that was December 2026, where does that leave it? So with only 2 DLCs set for the entire year of 2026 in the product roadmap, that gives space for normally 4 DLCs in total is what we normally get in the world of ARK. So that means Fjordur is coming, for me personally, some point either between Q1 and Q2 or between Q3 and Q4. I think it could be between Q1 and Q2, because then between Q3 and Q4, we may even see something like Crystal Isles or Lost Island, and then we finally see between Q1, Q2, and Q4 in 2027, the final free map of that. So that's pretty much my theory of when we're going to see it. It's not like these DLCs have been delayed or completely abandoned. It just means that it's free and it's not a product of ARK. They may add fantastic tames along the way, which is what they said that they will do. There may be some paid content along it, but the actual map as itself will be free. And that brings me over to the Genesis maps, because of course these maps need to be released for the whole product to be finished too. And these maps are free themselves. I just want to be able to 100% explain that to you guys as well, for people wondering. Bob's True Tales is an optional purchase, exactly the same as Bob's Tall Tales. If you want to download Genesis Part 1, you can do completely for free, but you won't be able to access the features for Bob's True Tales, which will be a big part of the DLC, and it will lock you out from doing a lot of the stuff. The same with Genesis Part 2, the DLC will be completely free and you will have access to everything you had once before on Survival Evolved in an upgraded and new state. But the difference is you won't have access to Bob's True Tales Galaxy Wars, which again will be a massive part of the DLC, and these do play a big part. And whether people think that they're paid to win, they do add massive amounts of new content, and in my eyes, it's worth the amount you spend. People may disagree with me there, but I really feel like spending, for me, $20 to $30 on Bob's True Tales, it gives you so much content in you pay that as a one-off fee and you get Tides of the Fortune and Galaxy Wars, and the amount of content Wildcard give in that one pack is a crazy amount of content. You're literally buying an entire new game with what they're giving you. So I personally feel like the fee for what they're charging, I know it's not been confirmed yet, is pretty good. But anyway, so that is what will complete ARK Survival Ascended as a whole. The game's still in early access, and to be honest guys, I expect the game to stay in early access until at least the launch of Legacy of Santiago. I would love to see it come out of early access before that, but I don't think we will see the end of early access until the end of 2027 as we move into 2028 and they can finalize ASA as a full new product. And I do think when we look back on it, once everything's been released, and if they can get ASA into a better state as a game, I do think we'll look back on it and people will seriously realize the changes that have been made for this game and the effort Studio Wildcard have put in now. I'm not saying it's been perfect. The beginning of this game has been an absolute mess. It's been embarrassing, and I don't think they'll mind me saying that because that is the truth. But at the end of the day, they're really heads-on focused now with getting this game into a seriously good place with so much new content, upgraded legacy maps, and I'm sure many of you guys are as excited as I am for the launch of Fjordur Ascended, the launch of Crystal Isles Ascended, and the launch of the Lost Island Ascended, which at some point will find their way within this world of 2026 and 2027. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. See you guys then.